Yet another controversy has arisen surrounding the proposed 300 megawatt power plant to be constructed in the Kerawalapitiya area.
The tenders were called for a diesel or fossil fuel combined cycle power plant which can be converted into an LNG plant. With several controversies, Lakdanave, a company with a majority shareholding by Lanka Transformers Limited and a company called Windforce, have been selected for the final round of the tender process. With several committees being appointed and after several appeals were filed, a decision was made to award the contract to the Windforce company. It was embroiled in a controversy again when a court case was filed regarding the tender. Minister Ravi Karanayake had presented a cabinet paper and appointed approval to let both these two companies construct two 300 megawatt power plants. A group of employees of the Lanka Transformers Limited convened a media briefing today and announced that the decision to award the contract to the Windforce company and to allow Lakdanave to construct a second power plant was not correct. All the steps required to not allow Lakdanave to receive this tender has been carried out. This has been done in the evaluation stage and the tender process.
There were two opinions at the Technical Evaluation Committee. At one time, they said this should be awarded to Windforce. Then they said this should be given to LTL, Lakdanave. The Appeals Committee said this should be awarded to Windforce. When this was sent to the Cabinet of Ministers, before they accepted anything that is said by the three parties, they consulted the National Procurement Commission. The Commission said that the Cabinet can take any decision that they deem fit. The Minister brought this proposal after looking at all of this.
How was this done? The tender conditions are changed. This was done by the Secretary to the Ministry. What does he do? At the time the tender was submitted, it was clearly mentioned regarding VAT and NBT. It said that the law of the country should be followed. As per the law of the country and as per the Act, it was clear that VAT and NBT will not be charged. The Ministry Secretary was able to obtain a letter from the Finance Ministry saying that this was not accepted from VAT and NBT. They changed the tender conditions. The Cabinet was deceived.
The Ministry Secretary cannot do anything based on his own opinion. This was discussed at the Cabinet Committee on Economic Management. This was discussed in the Finance Ministry, then it was discussed at the Cabinet. This was discussed at the Tender Appeals Board. This was discussed at the National Procurement Commission. This was discussed at the Technical Evaluation Committee. There are various views of all these parties. The position of the Secretary is the least strong position among all of this. So since they cannot touch the stronger places, they are attacking the Secretary.
Now that the ministry has also sent out a media release saying that Lakdanave will also receive a contract to construct a power plant, but it is clear that the tender will be awarded to a Chinese company. But based on the Power Act in the country, based on the law and our experience of over 20 years, we know that the project cannot be awarded in that manner.
The tender is regarding a power plant that is to be constructed in 2019. There is another power plant that is to be constructed in 2021. There are various matters being raised against the Secretary and other matters being raised if this is being done from the beginning again. We will not be able to construct the power plants that we have to construct in 2021 either. So we decided if both of this is given, we will be able to get both done. At least the power plant that is to be constructed in 2021 will be completed on time.
අපි 21 බලාගාරත් ගහන්න පුළුවන් නේ. ඒක අඩු ගානේ 21 බලාගාරේ හරි වෙලාවට එයිනේ.